Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into one of the wildest coin discoveries, one that could literally turn your spare change into a fortune. I'm talking about the 1991 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin that is sold for a jaw-dropping $1.2 million. Yeah, you heard that right. A penny worth over $1 million. Now, before you start flipping over every penny in your couch cushions, let me break it down for you. We'll go over why this coin is so valuable, what makes it rare, and how you can spot one. And stick around, because I'll share a crazy story about a guy who almost spent one of these pennies on a vending machine snack. Imagine that trading $1 million coin for a bag of chips. The 1991 Lincoln penny without a mint mark is one of the most mysterious and valuable coins out there. Normally, pennies made in Philadelphia have no mint mark, so what makes this one so special? It's all about a rare minting error that resulted in a unique die strike, making this specific penny a unicorn in the coin collecting world. To put it simply, a small batch of these pennies was accidentally struck with an incorrect planchet, meaning the wrong type of metal was used. Instead of the usual zinc-coated copper, some were made on solid copper planchets, which weren't supposed to exist in 1991. And because of this mistake, collectors are willing to drop serious cash to get their hands on one. How to spot one in your pocket change now? If you're like me, you're probably already eyeing that pile of pennies in your car's cup holder. Here's what you need to look for: flip the penny over and check under the date. If there's no tiny DRS there, you're on the right track. A regular 1991 penny should weigh 2.5 grams, but this rare one weighs about 3.1 grams. You'll need a small digital scale for this, but trust me, it's worth it. The rare copper penny has a richer, deeper color than regular pennies. Also, if you drop it on a hard surface, it makes a slightly different ping sound compared to a zinc penny. If you think you've got one, don't run to eBay just yet. Take it to a professional coin grader like PCGS or NGC to verify it. That small investment could lead to $1 million payout, the crazy story of the almost lost $1 million penny. Alright, so here's where things get wild. A guy, let's call him Dave, was at a gas station, digging through his pocket for change. He had a bunch of pennies, grabbed a handful, and was about to drop them into a vending machine for a Snickers bar, but then, something stopped him. He had seen a YouTube video, maybe one like this one, talking about rare pennies, and something clicked. He pulled that penny out, took it home, and weighed it. 3.1 grams. His heart started racing. A few months later, after getting it graded, he found out it was the legendary 1991 no-mint mark rare copper penny, the same one that eventually sold for $1.2 million at auction. Imagine if he had just gone ahead and bought that Snickers. That would have been the most expensive snack in history. Seriously, one small coin could change your life. It's insane how many valuable coins slip through people's fingers every day just because they don't know what to look for. And now, if you found this video helpful, or if you're currently dumping your piggy bank on the floor, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. I cover all kinds of rare coins that could be hiding in your pocket change, and trust me, you don't want to miss the next 1.0. And if you find a 1991 no-mint mark penny, don't spend it on snacks. Get it checked and let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear about your finds. Hey, coin hunters! Have you ever found a penny in your pocket and thought, man, I wish this was worth $1 million? Well, what if I told you that a 1986 no-mint mark Lincoln penny could actually be worth $1.1 million? That's right, one little copper-colored coin could change your life. Today, we're diving into the story of this incredibly valuable penny. I'll break down why it's worth so much, how to spot one, and share a hilarious personal story about my own experience with coin collecting. So, if you've ever tossed a penny aside thinking it was worthless, think again. First things first, let's talk about what a no-mint mark penny even means. Normally, pennies minted in Philadelphia don't have a mint mark. But, once in a while, a minting error happens, and collectors go absolutely crazy for it. That's exactly what happened with this 1986 penny. It turns out, there were some rare mistakes made at the mint that year, and a tiny batch of these pennies ended up being struck on the wrong planchet or had other unique errors, making them insanely valuable. Alright, so how do you know if you have one of these golden, well, copper tickets? If there's no DRS, you're on the right track. Weird weight. A normal penny should weigh 2.5 grams, zinc core. But some rare 1986 pennies were mistakenly struck on copper planchets, weighing 3.1 grams. Sharp details. If the details look sharper or slightly doubled, you might have a doubled die error, which only adds to its value. So, before you toss your spare change into the tip jar at your local coffee shop, take a second to inspect it. You never know, you could be sitting on a six-figure fortune. My personal coin hunting fail, or was it? Now, let me tell you about the time I thought I struck gold, but actually struck out. A while back, I found a 1986 penny with no mint mark. I was so pumped. I ran around my house like I had just won the lottery. I even told my family, pack your bags. We're rich. Spoiler alert, it turned out to be just a regular penny. No rare error. No special weight. Just 1 cent and a very bruised ego, but here's the kicker. That moment made me really dive into coin collecting, and since then, I've found some truly valuable coins. So even though that penny didn't make me rich, it led me down a path that just might one day. How much is this penny worth today? Alright, let's talk money. A standard 1986 penny? Worth 1 cent. A rare error version in mint condition? $1.1 million. Yeah, you heard that right. Some of these rare 1986 pennies have been auctioned off for over $1 million, all because of a tiny mistake at the mint. And even if you don't find the $1 million jackpot, certain 1986 pennies with minor errors can still sell for hundreds or thousands of dollars. So, even a small mistake could be a big payday. Don't ignore pennies. That little copper coin could be your ticket to a new car, a new house, or even early retirement. Check your coins carefully. A missing mint mark, the wrong weight, or a tiny error could make all the difference. Never give up on coin hunting. Even if you don't find $1 million penny today, every search brings you one step closer. And now, before you run off to check your piggy bank, make sure to subscribe for more tips on rare coins worth serious money. I'll be sharing more crazy valuable coins, coin collecting strategies, and maybe even more of my coin hunting fails. And hey, if you do find one of these 1986 pennies worth $1 million, don't forget who told you about it. Maybe send me a thank you penny, or a thank you Tesla. Your call. Hey there, coin enthusiasts and curious minds alike. Ever wondered if that humble penny jingling in your pocket could be worth more than its 1 cent face value? Well, today we're diving deep into the world of the 2019 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Spoiler alert, it might just be worth more than you think. In 2019, the Philadelphia Mint produced a staggering 3,542,800,000 pennies. That's over 3.5 billion coins. These pennies are easily identified by the absence of a mint mark beneath the date. While most of these coins are only worth their face value, certain factors can make some of them more valuable to collectors. If you've got a 2019 penny that's in pristine, uncirculated condition, you're in luck. Collectors often pay a premium for coins that have never been used in everyday transactions. In fact, uncirculated 2019 pennies can fetch between 10 to 30 cents, depending on their condition. But it gets even better. The most valuable 2019 penny without a mint mark was graded MS69RD by the Numismatic Guarantee Company and sold in 2021 for an astounding $2,575. So, it's worth taking a closer look at those shiny pennies before spending them. Now, let's talk about the real treasures, error coins. These are coins that have unique mistakes from the minting process, making them highly sought after by collectors. Some 2019 pennies have notable errors, such as a double die obverse. This error occurs when the coin is struck multiple times at slightly different angles, resulting in a doubled appearance on the design elements. Such coins can be worth between $50 to $100, depending on the prominence of the doubling. Off-center strikes. If the design on your penny is noticeably off-center, it could be an off-center error. The value of these coins depends on the degree of the misalignment but can range from $18 for circulated specimens to $40 for uncirculated ones. Plating blisters. These appear as small, bubble-like protrusions on the coin's surface due to issues during the minting process. A 2019 penny with prominent plating blisters has been known to sell for around $30. BizarreHobby.org. Let me share a quick story. A friend of mine, not a coin collector by any means, once found a peculiar-looking penny while cleaning out his car. It had a noticeable bubble on Lincoln's face. Intrigued, he did some research and discovered it was a plating blister error from 2019. He ended up selling that penny for $25. Not bad for something he almost tossed away. So, the next time you come across a 2019 penny, take a moment to examine it. Look for any unusual features or pristine conditions. Who knows? That little coin could be worth more than you ever imagined. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of valuable pennies and want to learn more about coin collecting tips and strategies, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for more insights on coins worth money and how you can spot them. Hey, everyone! Imagine this: you're digging through your couch cushions, looking for some spare change for a coffee, and bam, you find a penny. Just a regular old penny, right? Well, what if I told you that one little penny from 1965, with no mint mark, could be worth up to $1.3 million? Yeah, you heard that right. A single penny could change your life. Now, before you start emptying your piggy bank and raiding your grandpa's coin jar, stick with me. I'm going to tell you exactly what makes this penny so valuable, how to spot one, and most importantly, how you can turn an ordinary-looking coin into a life-changing jackpot. Oh, and trust me, I've got a story about a time I almost threw away a valuable coin. Spoiler alert, I learned my lesson the hard way. Why would anyone pay over $1 million for a penny? It all comes down to rarity, errors, and collector demand. Back in 1965, the US Mint was going through some serious changes. The country had just transitioned away from using silver in dimes and quarters, and to prevent hoarding, they decided not to put mint marks on any coins for a few years. That's why you won't see a D4 Denver or an S4 San Francisco on any pennies from 1965. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Most 1965 pennies are just regular copper coins worth, well, a penny. But every now and then, a special one pops up, one with an error, a rare die variety, or an unusual strike that sends collectors into a frenzy. Key features that can make your 1965 penny worth a fortune: the shinier, the better. Coins in mint state, meaning they look fresh out of the factory, are worth way more than the scratched up ones in your car cup holder. Some 1965 pennies were accidentally struck on silver planchets, the blank discs used for coins. If you have one of these, congratulations! You've basically won the coin lottery. Another error to look for is the double die effect, where some details look slightly doubled. Weight test: regular 1965 pennies should weigh about 3.11 grams. If yours is heavier or lighter, you might have a rare variety. Grab a small scale and check. Tiny imperfections like misplaced letters or weak strikes can make a coin highly desirable to collectors. The crazy story of $1 million penny. Okay, remember when I said I almost threw away a valuable coin? Here's what happened. A few years ago, I was helping my grandma clean out her old junk drawer. She had a tin full of random coins, and I was just tossing them into a bag for the bank. But then, she stopped me and said, "Hold on, let's check if any of these are special." I laughed and said, "Come on, Grandma, they're just pennies." But she pulled out a magnifying glass and started inspecting each one. Sure enough, we found a 1969 S Lincoln penny with a doubled die, one of the rarest pennies out there. That coin, in top condition, can be worth over $100,000. I was this close to tossing it. Alright, let's talk numbers. How much is this coin actually worth? A regular, well-worn 1965 penny is worth just face value, 1 cent. A high-grade uncirculated one that can bring in $50 to $500. That's where the big money comes in. Some have sold for up to $1.30 million. Yes, a single penny. One little coin. More than $1 million. Now, before you start spending your future fortune, keep in mind that finding one is rare. But hey, it's still worth checking your spare change. So, next time you see a 1965 penny in your pocket, don't just toss it into a coin jar. Take a closer look. You never know if you're holding a small fortune, and if you love learning about valuable coins and how to turn your pocket change into big money, hit that subscribe button. I've got plenty more tips, tricks, and crazy coin stories coming your way. And if you do find a valuable penny, let me know in the comments. I want to hear all about it. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket change into potential gold mines. Now, tell me, when was the last time you actually looked at your pennies before tossing them in a jar? Yeah, me neither, until I heard about the 1991 no mint mark Lincoln penny selling for a jaw-dropping $1.4 million. I mean, imagine casually paying for coffee and unknowingly handing over a fortune. Today, we're diving deep into what makes this penny worth so much, how to spot one, and most importantly, could you be sitting on one right now without even knowing it? Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll be checking every single penny you touch. So stick around, and let's uncover this tiny but mighty treasure. Alright, so let's start with the basics. The 1991 no mint mark Lincoln penny was, well, just an ordinary penny, or so we thought. This little copper-coated zinc coin was produced by the Philadelphia Mint, which didn't add a mint mark at the time. So, if you grab any 1991 penny and don't see a little P or any other letter under the date, congratulations, you have a no mint mark penny. But before you start celebrating, not every no mint mark 1991 penny is worth millions. We're looking for the rare, one-in-a-million variety with special errors or an unusual composition. This isn't just any 1991 penny, it's a one-of-a-kind minting error that made collectors go crazy. One of the most valuable versions was struck on a bronze planchet instead of the standard copper-plated zinc. That means instead of being mostly zinc with a thin copper coating, this bad boy is solid bronze, just like the old-school pennies from before 1982. Well, the US Mint had stopped using bronze for pennies years before 1991. So, if a few slipped through the cracks, that's a major historical mistake, and mistakes in coin collecting equal big money. How to tell if you have a rare one now? Here's where you'll want to grab your change jar, magnifying glass, and maybe even a scale because you're about to become a penny detective. A regular 1991 penny weighs 2.5 grams, but if yours is secretly a bronze error, it'll weigh around 3.1 grams instead. A tiny difference, but in the world of coin collecting, that's the difference between a penny and a payday. Some rare 1991 no mint mark pennies also have a double die error, where the letters or numbers look slightly duplicated. If you see this, cha-ching, a bronze penny will have a slightly deeper, more reddish tone compared to the usual bright copper look of modern pennies. Now, if you find something that looks suspiciously rare, don't start spending it yet. Get it authenticated. Professional grading companies like PCGS or NGC can verify if your penny is the real deal, and trust me, that's a small price to pay before cashing in on a potential $1.4 million windfall. Okay, so let me tell you a quick, and slightly painful, story. A while back, my friend was rolling up loose change to take to the bank. You know, one of those days when you're just trying to declutter. Well, he had this old penny that looked kind of weird, but instead of checking, he just casually rolled it up with the rest. Fast forward a few months, he saw an article about a 1991 no mint mark penny selling for crazy money. The worst part? He remembered having one that looked exactly like it. Yeah, let's just say he hasn't forgiven himself since. So, moral of the story? Check your pennies before giving them away for a measly cent. Alright, folks, now that you know the secret to spotting a rare 1991 no mint mark penny, there's only one thing left to do: go hunt for treasure. Whether it's in your car's cup holder, that forgotten coin jar in the kitchen, or even in your own pockets right now, you could be sitting on a fortune without realizing it. And hey, if you enjoyed this video and want more tips on finding valuable coins hiding in plain sight, make sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and drop a comment if you've ever found a rare coin yourself. You never know, your next penny could be worth millions. Alright, picture this: you're digging through your couch cushions, looking for spare change to grab a coffee, and boom, you find a penny. You're about to toss it in that just a penny pile, but wait. What if that tiny copper coin was worth more than your car? Your house? Maybe even your dream vacation to the Bahamas? Well, today we're talking about a 2016 no mint mark Lincoln penny that could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.5 million. Yeah, you heard that right, $1.5 million for a single penny. I bet you won't look at your pocket change the same way again. So, how does a modern penny, something that's just a few years old, become one of the most valuable coins ever? And more importantly, how can you find one? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for and how to cash in if you hit the jackpot. Let's go. Alright, let's break it down. In 2016, the US Mint produced millions of Lincoln pennies, but there was something special about a few of them. The Philadelphia Mint, which normally puts a little P on its coins, forgot to add a mint mark. Oops, now, most of these pennies are just regular 1-cent coins. But a tiny fraction, like winning the lottery tiny, had a major minting error that made them crazy valuable. And those are the ones collectors are scrambling to find. So, why would someone pay $1.5 million for a penny? Great question. It all comes down to rarity, demand, and a little thing called die errors. Some of these 2016 pennies had a mistake in the way they were struck. Maybe the die was overused, maybe there was a misalignment, or maybe the mint just had an oops moment. Whatever the reason, these tiny defects made some of these coins one of a kind, and collectors love that. Think of it like Pokemon cards. A regular Charizard is cool, but a misprinted, first edition Charizard? That's retirement money right there. Same thing with this penny. A normal 2016 Lincoln cent? Worth a penny. A rare error version? Worth millions. Alright, time to dig into your piggy banks. Here's what to look for if it doesn't have a P or any other mint mark. That's step 1. Look for doubling on the lettering or Lincoln's face. If the letters seem blurry or doubled, you might be in luck. If the design is slightly off-center, that's another huge clue. Some of these pennies have an unusual weight because of a rare metal mix-up. If you have a scale, check if your penny is heavier or lighter than usual. And now, don't go spending that penny just yet. If you think you have one, get it checked out by a professional coin grader. You don't want to accidentally buy a soda with $1 million penny. That would be tragic. Now, let me tell you a little story. A few years back, a friend of mine was cashing in some change at a Coinstar machine. He had this weird-looking penny, but he didn't think much of it. Just a regular penny, right? So, into the machine it went. He learns about rare 2016 pennies and realizes he probably had one. And guess what? That machine? It doesn't give coins back. Check your change before you cash it in. You could be sitting on a fortune and not even know it. Okay, let's say you get lucky and find one of these bad boys. What's next? Places like Heritage Auctions or Stacksbowers will get you top dollar. eBay can work, but be careful, get your penny authenticated first. Coin dealers, a legit dealer can help you price it right and connect you with buyers, and remember, don't clean it. Scrubbing your coin to make it shinier can actually ruin its value. Let it be its natural, dusty, glorious self. Alright, so now you know that a simple 2016 penny could be worth $1.5 million. Mind blown, right? Before you dump out your coin jar and start inspecting every penny under a magnifying glass, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got more wild coin stories, expert tips, and crazy finds that you won't want to miss. And hey, drop a comment below. What's the coolest or weirdest coin you've ever found? I'd love to hear your stories. Alright, picture this, you're digging through your couch cushions, looking for spare change to buy a coffee, and boom, you find an old penny. But instead of just tossing it in the tip jar, you take a closer look. What if I told you that one single penny, yes, a 1970 D Lincoln penny, could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.6 million? Yep, that's not a typo. In today's video, we're diving into the fascinating world of valuable pennies, and I'm going to show you exactly what makes this one special. So, if you've got a coin jar collecting dust, you might want to grab it because you could be sitting on a small fortune without even knowing it. Alright, let's break this down. The 1970 D Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, hence the D mint mark. Now, normally, this penny isn't anything out of the ordinary. But, and this is a big but, certain rare errors and varieties have turned some of these pennies into absolute treasures. One of the biggest reasons this coin is worth serious cash is because of a double die burst. What's that? Basically, it means the design was stamped twice, causing a noticeable doubling effect on Lincoln's profile, the date, and the lettering. If you see that on your coin, buckle up, because you might just have a winner, high-grade condition. If your 1970 D penny is still shining like the day it left the mint, it could be worth significantly more. Coin collectors love pristine coins, and they're willing to pay top dollar for them. Okay, quick story, because trust me, I've learned this lesson the hard way. A few years ago, I was visiting my grandma, and she had this giant tin full of pennies. She told me I could take some for fun, so I picked out a few that looked interesting. One of them? A 1970 D penny. At the time, I had no idea that certain ones could be worth anything, so brace yourself, I spent it on a candy bar. Yep. I could have had $1 million penny, and instead, I traded it for some chocolate. Moral of the story? Always check your change before you spend it. So, let's say you've got a 1970 D penny. How do you know if it's valuable? Here's a quick checklist. Check Lincoln's face, the date, and the word Liberty. If anything looks slightly doubled, you might have a rare variety. The shinier, the better. If it looks like it just came from the bank, it's worth checking out. If you think your penny might be valuable, consider sending it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. A high grade could mean big money, current market value. Alright, let's talk numbers. If you have a 1970 D penny without errors, it's probably worth just a few cents. But if you've got a rare double die variety in top condition, collectors have been known to pay up to $1.6 million for one of these bad boys. Even lower grade error coins can go for hundreds or thousands of dollars, so it's always worth checking. So, what's the takeaway here? Next time you get a penny in your change, don't ignore it because you never know what you might have. The 1970 penny is proof that even the smallest things in life can turn into big money. And hey, if you enjoyed this video and want more tips on valuable coins, make sure to subscribe. I post new videos all the time about rare coins, money-making strategies, and how to spot hidden gems in your pocket change. Also, drop a comment below. Have you ever found a valuable coin in your change? Let's swap stories. Alright, picture this: you're digging through an old coin jar, hoping to find a quarter for the vending machine, and bam, you spot an old, worn-out penny. You think, just another 1-cent piece, and toss it aside. But what if I told you that penny could be worth $1.70 million? That's right. There's a rare 1964 Lincoln penny out there that's making collectors go absolutely wild. If you've got one sitting in your collection or even lost somewhere in your couch cushions, you might just be sitting on a small fortune. Stick around, because in today's video, we're diving into everything you need to know about the 1964 Lincoln penny, what makes it so valuable, and how you can check if you've got one of these rare gems. Plus, I've got a hilarious personal story about how I almost spent a rare coin without even realizing it. Trust me, you won't want to miss this. Before we get into the crazy value, let's talk history. In 1964, the US Mint was dealing with a coin shortage. Sounds dramatic, right? They were producing coins like crazy, and the Denver Mint, hence the D-Mint mark, pumped out millions of Lincoln pennies that year. Just your standard copper cents. But some? Oh, some were struck in a way that turned them into rare collector's items. We're talking about special errors, high-quality strikes, and the ever-elusive full red luster pennies that make coin collectors drool. Now, you might be thinking, okay, it's an old penny, but why is it worth as much as a mansion? Great question. Here's what makes certain 1964 pennies so special. Some coins were struck with doubled dies, which means parts of the design look like they have a shadow or a slight doubling effect. If a penny has been chilling in someone's collection for decades without a single scratch, it's called a mint state penny. The highest grade MS-67 or higher can fetch insane prices. Rare composition. Some rumors suggest that a few 1964 pennies were accidentally struck on a leftover planchet from a silver coin. Now that would be a collector's dream. Alright, time for a quick story. A while back, I was cleaning out an old drawer when I found a handful of pennies. One of them looked shinier than the rest, and for some reason, it felt different. I thought, it's probably just a newer penny, and almost threw it in the take a penny, leave a penny tray at a gas station. Luckily, something told me to check it first. I pulled out my magnifying glass, yeah, I'm that person, and realized it was a 1964 in really good condition. Now, was it worth $1.7 million? No, but after some research, I found out it was still worth hundreds of dollars, so now you're probably itching to go through your old coin stash. Here's what to look for: a mint mark. The D should be clearly visible under the date. Color: if it has a bright red or reddish-orange tone, it's more valuable than a dull brown one. Errors: look for doubling on the lettering or Lincoln's face. Condition: if it looks like it was minted yesterday, you might just have a jackpot coin. And if you do find one, get it graded by a professional before you go celebrating. The value depends on an expert verifying its condition. So, let's say you've struck gold or, well, copper. Where do you cash in? Places like Heritage Auctions specialize in rare coins. eBay and coin dealer websites can be goldmines if you list properly. Some collectors are willing to pay a premium for a coin they've been hunting for. Just be careful. Scammers love to take advantage of new collectors, so always deal with reputable buyers. Alright, so what have we learned today? 1. Never ignore an old penny, it could be worth millions. 2. Always check your change before spending it, because trust me, you don't want to make my mistake. And 3. If you do find a rare 1964 penny, get it checked out before you start planning your dream vacation. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins that could be hiding in your pocket, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I post weekly videos on valuable coins, hidden treasures, and money-making strategies you don't want to miss. Also, drop a comment below. What's the most valuable coin you've ever found? Alright, picture this: you're digging through an old coin jar, looking for a quarter to feed a parking meter. You shuffle past some dimes, nickels, and then bam, a 2009 Lincoln penny catches your eye. You think, just another penny, and flick it aside. Stop right there. That penny could be worth $1.1 million. Yes, a penny. The kind that most of us ignore or leave in the tip jar at the coffee shop. Today, we're diving into the story behind the 2009 Lincoln Early Childhood Satin Finish Penny, why it's rare, how to tell if you have one, and how you can turn pocket change into life-changing money. And stick around because I'll be sharing a personal story about the time I almost spent a rare penny by accident. Spoiler alert, it involves a vending machine, some regret, and a lot of Google searches. So, what makes this particular penny so special? In 2009, the U.S. Mint released a series of 4 different Lincoln pennies to celebrate the 200th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Each design depicted a different stage of Honest Abe's life. The early childhood version shows a young Lincoln sitting on a log, reading a book, because apparently, he was already smarter than the rest of us at age 7. Most of these pennies were struck in regular circulation finishes. But the rare ones? They were part of a special satin finish set made for collectors. Instead of the usual shiny or dull copper look, these have a smooth, matte-like surface. These pennies were never meant for circulation, but some still found their way out into the wild. If you're holding a 2009 early childhood Lincoln penny, here's how to check if you've got the golden ticket: not glossy, not dull, but a soft, smooth texture. These were made at both the Philadelphia, P, and Denver, D, mints. Weigh it. The regular ones weigh about 2.5 grams, but the satin finish versions are slightly different in composition. Now, why is this penny worth $1.1 million? Great question. A rare error batch was discovered where some of these satin finish pennies were struck on improper planchets, meaning the metal composition was slightly off. Collectors go crazy for mistakes like these because, well, perfection is overrated. Let's talk market value. While not every 2009 satin finish penny is worth $1 million, even lower grade versions can sell for hundreds or thousands of dollars. One graded at MS69, near perfect, sold at auction for over $1 million. So if you find one, don't just toss it in the Coinstar machine, get it graded. And that brings me to my personal story. A few years back, I was cleaning out my desk and found a weird-looking penny. I was about to toss it in a vending machine for a bag of chips, but something told me to check it out first. Turns out, it was a 2009 Lincoln penny, though not the rare satin finish version. Still, that moment sent me down the rabbit hole of coin collecting, and I've been obsessed ever since. Moral of the story? Always check your coins before you spend them. So, what did we learn today? First, never underestimate a penny, some of them can be worth more than your car. Second, if you find a 2009 Lincoln Early Childhood Satin Finish penny, get it checked. And third, maybe it's time to start digging through your couch cushions because hidden treasure is literally lying around. If you love learning about rare coins, valuable pennies, and how to make money from change, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more coin hunting tips coming your way, and trust me, you don't want to miss them. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin or if you're about to go check your penny jar right now. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting!